Welcome to Babies from Beyond, the podcast that gives all babies a voice, whether they are still in spirit or already earthside. I'm Lauren Dionysius, a former registered NICU nurse turned baby soul communicator, and I'm here to share the wisdom of today's babies to guide you on your motherhood journey. So, on to today's question. Does everyone have baby souls around them? This is one of the most frequently asked questions that I get from women all over the world. There's so many unknowns about babies and their journey to the earth, but it starts by their soul's energy being present in your energy field. And in my experience doing this work with thousands of women all around the world, everyone has baby souls around them. However, let's dive a little deeper into this because it's not quite as simple as that. And first, I want to start with a little bit more information about the journey of the soul, because the soul can be quite a mysterious, unknown quantity, and it can feel like we are in uncharted territory when we start talking about the soul, especially if this is quite a new concept for you. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit more about the soul and its journey to earth. So in my experience, and I will add a little disclaimer here that this is all just my experience. I can't pretend to have connected with all 8 billion people on the planet and however many babies are in spirit. But in my experience working with women and working with babies, this is the understanding that I've come to. So the soul, it's our life force, it's our energy, it's our internal compass, our inner wisdom and our inner knowing. It's our gut instinct. It's that part of us that keeps us learning and growing and moving and experiencing the world. And in my experience, everybody has a soul attached to their body. Without it, we can't exist. And while part of our soul is connected to our body, another part of our soul still remains in spirit. And so when we are connecting with our intuition, then we're often connecting via that part of our soul that's still in spirit. The way I see it is our soul is connected to our body with some kind of tether or a thread or a rope, a cord, whatever way you want to imagine it. To me, it always looks silver. I don't know why that is. I guess I haven't really asked. But there's always that connection, and we need that energy, that life force to be able to function as a human. So if we bring this back then to babies, and the soul, again in my experience, has always made the decision to come to the earth. With the thousands of babies I cared for as a NICU nurse, and also babies I've connected with in spirit and already earthside outside of the hospital environment, it's always been a choice that the soul chooses. Because I've never connected with a baby who was surprised or didn't plan to come or didn't know they were coming. There's always an agreement on some level to come to the earth, to experience the world. And it's the full spectrum. It's all the emotions, the senses, the situations, all of the things. And so with a baby's soul, in my experience, they are wise, they are mature souls, they are very intuitive and connected, especially those babies who are coming to earth at this time are highly sensitive, highly intuitive. So these souls have chosen to come to the earth, or in many cases return to the earth, as these little people, as babies, as children. So the baby souls I communicate with are the ones who haven't been conceived yet. So they may be planning a life here on earth, and we'll go a little more deeper into that in a moment. Some of these baby souls are already on their way. So these are the souls that you're pregnant with, and you are growing their little human body for them and with them. I also work with those who came to earth and then left again through some form of loss, whether that be miscarriage, termination, ectopics, chemical pregnancies, stillbirth, infant loss, neonatal deaths, all kinds of loss or death, even the loss of a child as well. These are also the baby souls that we can work with and learn from, as well as those who are already here. It's the newborns who have just landed on earth. It's the toddlers and the children who are already earthside that we can learn so much from and receive so much wisdom to not only support them on their journey, but also to guide you on your journey. So now that I've shared a little bit about the soul itself, let's dive back into the original question for this episode. And that is, does everyone have baby souls around them? As I said, yes, in my experience, they do. And the way I've learnt to know this is that we look for them, we find them. If they are around you, they are near you somewhere. So for many babies, and I'd probably say the majority, well, at least over 50%, are in your energy field. Your energy field has different layers, known as your aura, and somewhere in here is where a lot of babies hang out. They are seeing the world through your energy, through your eyes, through your experiences. But they can also be in your partner's energy field as well. Also in older children. So if you already have babies and children earthside, then future children can also be hanging out in their energy fields, especially if there is a deep soul connection with your older children. And believe it or not, I've also found babies hanging out in the energy field of pets, which I know sounds totally nuts, and it was to me when I first experienced it. But yes, I have had this happen, and it's been mostly with dogs. That was a very strange experience, let me tell you. But what's important to realize here is their presence, and even where they are, whether they're in your energy field, your partner's energy field, around your children or your pets. We need to dive deeper. We need to ask the question, why are you there? What's your purpose for being around me at this time? Because as I said, everyone has baby souls around them, but not everyone brings children into the world, right? Or not all of these souls come to earth in this lifetime. So that's why we need to dive deeper and ask the real question, which is, why are they there? What are you doing there? What is your purpose in my energy field, in my life at this time? Just because there's a baby soul around you doesn't mean that they're going to come to you in this lifetime. And this is a big misconception that can be really confusing for a lot of women, because it's not just about them being there, and it's not even about the number of baby souls around you. And I'll go into that a little bit later. There are many reasons why a baby can be around you. Some of them are messengers. They have some kind of important information to share with you about your motherhood journey, about pregnancy, birth, parenting, loss, conception, all of these things. But they may not actually themselves be planning to come to you. And also because time in spirit is a little bit different compared to time on earth, others may be planning a future life with you in another lifetime. Now, I know that you may need to stretch your mind a little bit to entertain this idea, especially if past lives are a new concept to you or you're not really sure about them. But because your soul is connected to your body and your soul is infinite and it's not restricted or restrained by time, by our human linear concept of time. So this means that you may be able to sense baby souls in your energy field who are there with you, connected to your soul, but you are planning a future life together. It could be 200, 300, 400 years down the track. And I have had this happen as well. And others are just hovering. They're curious. They're not sure if they want to come yet. Perhaps they haven't made their decision yet. And they're just collecting some information and, eavesdropping essentially on your life and the world as you know it through your eyes. So even just by sharing that, it's clear that babies have different reasons for being around you. That's why it's so important to ask them why they're there. And to find out, are you planning a life with me in this lifetime? Because if you're not, and you don't have some kind of guidance or insight for me for my motherhood journey at this time, then I probably don't really need to communicate with you, or I don't really need to get to know you or even feel you, because I have worked with many women who've been very confused about this when they feel a baby soul around them or they feel a baby around them and they're not conceiving them or these children are not coming through. And when we tune in deeper, we learn that there's another reason they're there. And as I've been talking about today, only one reason for a child to be in your energy field is that they're planning to come to Earth to be with you in this life. So it's nothing to be afraid of, it's nothing to fear. And I'm not saying that because you haven't conceived a child, you're connecting with a child who's not coming. But sometimes they can kind of get in the way of the ones who do want to come. If there's a child from your future who has some information to share with you, and it's really important for your journey to know this and for your soul, and perhaps even for their journey, then they can be very strong in that. And especially if that wisdom or that information is going to affect and support you on your future journey, then other children may hold back, or you may not be able to sense them or feel them because of this other soul. That's why it is important to communicate with them, but it's about asking why. Again, I feel like I'm repeating this a lot in this episode, but I really want to be clear about this. Why are they there? Are they planning a life with you in this life? Do they just have a message for you or some kind of information to support you on your journey? Are they just hovering? Are they just curious and they're not sure yet? They haven't made a decision. So don't forget to ask the question, why? Why are you there? And this brings me to another misconception that I wanted to touch on in this episode. And that's this idea that there is a fixed number of babies around you that doesn't change. And again, in my experience, for some women, this is true. For some women, there are very clear soul agreements and contracts and very clear journeys from spirit to earth that your soul has already agreed to, and also that your baby's souls have already agreed to. And it's now just a matter of putting those plans into action, which are not always set in stone, but that commitment or that decision to come to Earth has already been made. And so the number of babies around you, for example, say you have 3 baby souls around you and you don't yet have any children, for example, that may be some very clear wisdom that that is your journey ahead. However, and I've also come across women who have been really confused by this, because I've also had women who already have 4 children earthside, have decided that they might like to try for another one, and we tune in and there's all these baby souls around them, none of which are the ones who are already here on Earth, which can send women into a little bit of a panic and thinking, no, I was just thinking one more, not like a whole tribe. So that's when we ask the question, well, who here is actually planning a life in this lifetime? And that number can also change. As I mentioned, for some women, it is quite clear and agreed on and decided and even fixed. But in my experience, for the majority of women, it's not. Because as a soul having experience here on Earth, you still do have free choice. You still do have the ability to make a choice, exactly the same as these souls in spirit, who also have that freedom of choice and that free will to decide whether they're going to come to Earth or not. And they can decide and say yes, and then they can also change their mind. That's also their decision to make. And we need to honor that. We need to respect that if that's the case. But the moral of this story is that the number of souls around you is not always fixed, that souls can come and go. Babies can change their mind and say yes and then no, or no and then yes. It's all about how your journey unfolds, how your circumstances change, how your growth through your human life is unfolding. And by no one's fault, it's just the shift and the changes and the energy may mean that some babies may leave your energy field, but others may join your energy field just as much. And this does often happen as well. Also, some babies don't want to be seen. So they may be in your energy field and they may be planning a life with you, but they don't want you to feel them just now for whatever reason. And there can be many reasons for that. So I just want to go back now just as a summary with this episode, because I feel like for the first episode, I have shared quite a lot of information. But coming back to that question, does everyone have baby souls around them? Yes. The answer in my experience is a clear and a simple yes. But as with a lot of things in the spirit world, we need to ask more questions. So if you do have baby souls around you, and I'd really encourage you to do this on your own, you don't need to do anything fancy. If you sense a baby soul around you, then ask them, why are you around me? Are you planning to come to me in my lifetime? And just see what comes to you. See what answers they have to share and listen to what they say. I hope that helped to clarify some things for you and just help you to start thinking a little bit more deeply around your own journey and your own experiences. Thank you for tuning in to Babies from Beyond. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to leave me a review just wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, head over to Instagram and give me a follow at Born Energy, and check out the show notes for more ways that you can connect with your baby soul, including one-on-one readings and online programs to support you. Until next time, trust your journey and your baby. Take care.